So I've been getting a bunch of messages from Amazon KDP publishers regarding the new Amazon KDP algorithm update. Now, a lot of publishers have seen like a decline in their sales because of the new update. However, in this video, we're going to be cracking the secrets to the Amazon KDP algorithm. Okay, so the algorithm, why does the algorithm even exist? What's the whole point of Amazon having an algorithm? Well, the whole point of the algorithm, is it for you to make money? No, no one really cares about you as a publisher. So why does the algorithm exist if it's not for you to make money? Who is making money because of the algorithm? Obviously, Amazon. So for Amazon to switch up the algorithm is not for them to do, well, the only reason they will switch up the algorithm is for them to make more money. Now, some publishers would say, but they might switch the algorithm to create a better customer experience. Great, and you are correct. If you have a better customer experience, because that is something that Amazon cares about, the customer experience, they want people to have a better shopping experience on Amazon than they can have on any other platform. So if they change the algorithm for a better customer experience, awesome. However, why would they want a better customer experience? So they can make more money, more sales, right? So the whole point of the algorithm changing is not a massive change, but whatever changes they are making to the algorithm is purely to make more money. And that's what we need to focus on. When it comes to analyzing the algorithm, it's not about what we think or what publishers think or assumptions. It is purely based on why would Amazon specifically change it? What's the benefit for Amazon? Because when Amazon makes changes, especially to the algorithm, it's not to benefit us. It's never to benefit, by the way, when I say us, I'm talking about KDP publishers. It's never really to benefit KDP publishers. It's purely to benefit Amazon and Amazon's customers, right? It wants a better shopper experience. It wants the shoppers to get good products so they come back to Amazon to buy more products. That's the whole point of the algorithm changing. Now, the way the algorithm works is exactly the same thing as a lock. Like, have you ever seen these locks? Sometimes when I try to rent an Airbnb, they'll have like these locks. So you put like numbers here, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5, very discrete numbers, I know. But let's say you put these numbers and when you put it in the right order, there's a little box opens up with the keys to your Airbnb. Now, if you get this combination wrong, so instead of a 4, you put a 6, great, it's not going to unlock. The same thing applies to the algorithm. If you don't get these things correct in the correct order, right, because they all work with each other, one number can be wrong, you messed up, you're not getting the keys to your Airbnb. So we need to make sure the lock is correct. Now, what is the lock when it comes to the algorithm? Well, just like I said, there's multiple different things. There's not one thing that the algorithm is looking for. It's multiple different things, so it figures out which one is more likely to make a sale, which book is more likely to make a sale. So you need to give the algorithm the correct piece of data in order for the algorithm to say, hey, Barry's book looks like it's going to make more sales. So let's push Barry's book higher and give Barry more sales. Obviously, they can't force anyone to buy your book. You have to have a quality book. But they can force the exposure of your book. They can push your book in the correct places in order for you to make the most amount of sales possible. So let's figure out these 4, numbers essentially. Let's just pretend that we don't know the numbers. Now, what's the first one? Well, the first one, I'm going to say is the most important thing, because if you don't realize how important this is, it's like you're sabotaging your whole book. So the first one is your book cover. Now, before you skip this video,
Oh, Barry, I already have a good book cover. I'm going to skip the video. Book cover, I don't need it. I'm not making sales, but it's not the book cover's problem.
give me a second. Okay, when it comes to the book cover, so there's not one thing that your book cover needs to have. Hey, Barry, what's this one thing my book cover should have? And then it will work very well. It's not like that. It's kind of like saying, oh, Barry, I'm going to get married. What's the one thing I should look for in a wife? There is no one thing. I'm pretty sure when you're getting married, you'll want to look for like multiple different personality traits. Is she going to be a good mother of the child? Is she going to, well, I don't know what people are looking for when they get married. I'm not lucky enough to be married right now, but maybe it will happen very soon. But just like marriage, you're looking for multiple qualities in your partner. Just the same applies for your book cover. You're looking for multiple qualities in that book cover. Now, if you don't have any design background, I'm going to tell you what to do, I promise you. But don't skip this part because it's one of the most important ones. If you don't have any design background, great. You know your weakness. You don't know design. So here's the thing. If you don't have design background, okay, and you're designing the books, I don't know why I drew circles, but it's just for me to mentally have something on here so I can streamline what I'm saying. I hope you understand. But if you don't have any design experience and you're designing the book covers, your book covers are probably going to be bad. Probably going to be bad. Because why would they not be bad? Give me one reason why they will not be bad. If you don't understand design, great. So if you don't understand design, I'm going to tell you what to do. If you do understand design and you make a book cover and it's not performing, maybe you don't understand design as best as you think you do. Now, you might have had a feeling at that point, so your ego might say,
Barry doesn't know what he's talking about. My book covers are really good.
great. If you had that feeling, there might be something else you need to fix. Not your book cover, maybe some internal things you need to fix. But again, I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not here to tell you what to fix internally. I'm going to show you how to fix your book cover. Now, regardless if you understand design or not, when it comes to your book cover, even if you're hiring someone, oh, Barry, I'm going to hire a designer, I'm going to pay them a lot, they're going to do a good job. And by the way, for a lot of people, they hire $100 designers on Fiverr. Probably not the best way to go. But again, we're not talking about book covers in this video. We're just going to go over the basics that you need to understand. When it comes to a quality book cover, there are some design principles that you need to understand. Now, in my program, I'm not here to sell you my program, I promise you, but in my program, if you're part of it, I have 12 design principles that you can go over. Most publishers only know 2 or 3, which are the absolute basic ones. Even publishers that are doing good money on Amazon KDP, they still don't really understand design principles. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't make money. It's just you're limiting your book if you don't understand the design principles because you're attracting less people. What do I mean by this? If your book cover, let's say you're getting 1 million impressions, right? A percentage of these people, impressions are when someone looks at your book online. A percentage of these people are going to click on your book. Let's say 1,000 of them click on your book. Now, out of those 1,000, a percentage of them might buy your book, let's say 10%, and then 100 people will buy your book. So 1,000 will click, and then these ones, they will actually see your book. So this is seeing your book without clicking. This, only if your book cover is good, so if it's attractive, people will click on it. If your book cover is bad, and either is so bad that people ignore it, you're missing out on the click. Or it can be so bad that people are turned off by it. They notice it, but they're like, this looks bad. I'm not going to click on it. Those are basically your 2 options. Your third option is that it attracts people and then people say, hey, this looks good. Whatever people say, do you know that saying, don't judge a book by its cover? Worst saying in the world. I don't know who came up with it. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Because the only reason you buy books is because of the book cover. Not the only reason, but it's one of the biggest reasons that you buy books. Because of the book cover. If the book cover doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't look professional, you automatically assume that what's inside the book is the same quality. If your book cover is bad quality, automatically you assume the book is bad quality. So why would someone buy a bad quality book? We make judgments off the book cover. Now, when it comes to design, if you don't know what you're doing with design, here's the thing. When it comes to design, is universal. Whatever I'm going to show you about the book covers, whatever design principles are associated with your book cover, you can see it everywhere. Everywhere. So, for example, there's multiple things that can be wrong with your book cover. I'll list out some things for you. I'm not going to go super in depth, but you'll understand. So the first one is colors, right? If you don't get the colors correct on your book cover, what are you doing? So for example, if I'm selling a book for men and I have a purple cover, it might not convert as well. Again, it depends on your niche. Just try to understand what I'm saying right now because there's always going to be anomalies. Like I'm not saying if you make a purple book cover for a men's niche, it's going to fail. No. As long as you do it correctly. Now, if you're making a barbecue book, for example, for men, then the book cover is probably going to be brown or orange or something that gives a barbecue feeling, right? Now, I'm not going to come and make a pink barbecue book for men with a pink book cover. I'm not going to make a barbecue book for men with a pink book cover. Why? Because it's probably not going to resonate with the audience. It's like you have a Bluetooth headset and then you can't connect to the Bluetooth speaker. Or like you have your phone, you want to connect to the speaker, but you're pushing out 97 hertz frequency. I don't know how frequency works. I don't know if hertz is actually frequencies, but you're pushing 97 frequency, but this radio can only register 110 hertz frequency. So you're pushing this frequency and the radio is pushing another frequency. They're not meeting together. What you want to do is you want to resonate. You want to pick the correct colors that are going to resonate with your target audience, right? So if I'm selling a cooking book for women and then everyone has like orange and green covers, maybe I might want to make a pink cover if the pink cover resonates with the woman. Again, depends on your niche as well. But if it resonates, then I'm pushing things out and then they're receiving it because we're on the same frequency, essentially. It's like my phone can connect to that Bluetooth speaker because we're on the same frequency. If you're not on the same frequency, it's never going to connect. Just like if your colors aren't correct, then people won't click on your book cover. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to colors, there's something called the color wheel, right? I'm going to give you some practical advice right now. Even if you don't have any design skills, if you have no design skills, I want you to do this for the next day or two. Practice this for the next day or two. It's the easiest thing you could possibly do. If you've never seen the color wheel, it looks something like this, right? And there's a bunch of colors. Now, there's many different ways that you can use the colors on the color wheel. I'll put like a little image up here. Here's the color wheel. You can see that there's colors around it. Now, the whole point of the color wheel is that whatever color you pick, you can mix and match it with other colors depending on where it is on the color wheel. What do I mean by this? If I pick this color right here, then I want the second color that's going to be in the book cover to be the opposite one. That's one of the ways you can do it. This is called complementary colors. Again, I'm not going to go too in-depth because this is not a book cover video. We still have all the other ones to talk about. But I'm just giving you some practical advice right now. This is called what's it called? I forgot the word now. Complementary. This is a complementary color combination. So you pick two colors that are opposite each other. There's another one that you can do, which is called the triadic one. So triadic. What's a triadic color combination? This is where you pick three colors. However, you don't pick three random colors on the color wheel, right? So if you're designing and you're not using the color wheel, if you're designing yourself and you're picking your colors without using the color wheel, you're going in blind, right? If you have the color wheel, you have data, you have the psychology of colors, so you know what works together. So for example, a very, very, very famous triadic color combination is blue, red, and yellow. Now, blue, red, and yellow on the color wheel forms a triangle. That's why it's called a triadic color combination. I actually need to pull up a color wheel just to be 100% sure. Yeah, okay, so I do know what I'm talking about. Great. So blue, red, and yellow are triangle in the color wheel. If you don't have the color wheel in front of you, open it up. If you're on your phone, just search it on your computer, or at least search it on your phone, have a tab open. Go and look at the color wheel. You can pick, I'm only gonna tell you two, there's so many different color combinations that you can use, but one of them is complementary, which is two colors. You pick the two opposite each other. The other one is triadic one. You pick the triangle ones. So you're either going to pick a triangle like this. You're either going to pick a triangle like this. I shouldn't have been drawing that, but it's okay. I hope hopefully I don't get banned from YouTube. But you want to pick three colors. Three, like an isosceles triangle. I think it's called an isosceles. It's all the same. So you can see on the color wheel I can see now, you have yellow, red, blue. I had 3 coffees, so I'm like hyper now. You have yellow, red, blue. And then you also have green, orange, purple, right? Those are the colors that work well together. Now, you're probably saying, Barry, where are you going with this? Here's the thing. This is so core and fundamental. This is the absolute basic. If you haven't used the color wheel in your book cover, you're skipping over the basics. So no matter what other advanced things I told you, you don't even understand the basics. Now, here's the thing. Look around your room. Go and find things that are in your room design-wise, whether it's like cups, whether it's cleaning materials. Maybe you have a poster in your room. Maybe you have, maybe there's a poster for a movie or something. Whatever you have in your room, go and find things, maybe other book covers, and see if you can find anything that has the yellow, red, and blue color combination. Because these are everywhere. This is design principles that apply to all design. For example, when you're building a character, they don't just pick colors randomly. They all use the color wheel. Let me tell you something. What's the color of Superman? Blue, red, and yellow, right? Why? Do you think that's a coincidence? No, it's because they work well together. So you need to pick colors that work well together. Now, another thing, go out there and if you want, pick complementary colors and look at things around your room that have those complementary colors. So for example, one complementary color is, let me see. Well, we can see that there's purple and yellow, right? If you have the color wheel in front of you, I'll put it up here. Purple and yellow. Can you see how they're opposite each other? Great. Check this out. Can you see this book cover? Purple and yellow. Why is it purple and yellow? Because they're complementary colors, right? Other complementary colors. Blue and red, right? Check this out. Blue and red, right? They all follow the same thing. Now, even better, instead of me getting books, check this out. Or actually, red, green, and yellow. Is that a thing? Red, green, and yellow. That's another kind of color combination that's like more Jamaican, but check this out. Red and blue. Okay, let's say we only focus on red and blue. You can go out there in the world, whether you're driving in the highway and you see like a sign or something, try to look out for design, the colors they use in the design, and try to figure out which ones they pick through the color wheel. So if I just go for blue and red, I'll try and find things that are blue and red, and I'll come back. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is my bowl of water. You can see it's blue. I don't know if you can see it, but there's elements of blue, there's elements of red, and then they used yellow for the little badge, right? Superman colors. Give me one more. Or blue and yellow is actually a famous one. Blue and yellow is very, very famous. If you usually see blue designs, there's usually yellow with the blue design. Now you can see right here, this is blue with yellow on top. Let me actually go and find some really cool things to show you. Okay, so we agree that blue, red, and yellow are the Superman colors. I found this thing. This is the duck thing. You put it in the toilet. It's like bleach and things. Check this out. It's blue. The text, what color is the text? Red. What color is the tip? Yellow. Superman colors, right? It's just the same principles. Look at this. This is basically salt, right? Check out the baby on the salt. So the actual salt is blue. The text is red. And then you can see the baby, the logo. I don't know if you can see it, but it's yellow, the logo around. Superman colors. Check this out. This is a very simple lighter. It's just a lighter. What color is the lighter? Blue, right? What color is the logo on the lighter? Yellow, right? What color is the button on the lighter? Red, right? So it's everywhere. It's everywhere. This is just one color combination, and there's multiple. If you don't know the color combinations, you're missing out. So if you want to see this for yourself, go out there, look at the things around your house, try and find something that's blue, red, and yellow. It will be very easy to find. Other things you can find. So blue, red, and yellow are Superman colors. You can think of multiple different characters that are blue, red, and yellow. You have Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. I don't know if you know those guys. Sonic, blue, red, and yellow. There's reasons behind this. It's all psychology. Now, even with the colors, purple and yellow. If you go out there and you see a purple advertisement, most likely they'll have yellow text. If it's not yellow, it will probably be green, right? If you think of a witch, you think of purple and green. What about Hulk? Hulk is purple. No, Hulk is green with purple trousers, right? They're all using the same color combinations. Now, there's different ways that you can use the color wheel, so make sure you are aware of the colors you're using on your book cover. Now, the colors, you want it to obviously attract attention, but you also want the text to work well with the background color and your main image to work well with the colors within your cover. So if you're picking two colors, just like Gary Vaynerchuk did right there, black and white doesn't count as a cover, as a color, by the way. Just the colors, black and white, you can use it along with the complementary colors or the triadic color combination. But just like Gary Vaynerchuk did, he just picked purple and yellow. That's complementary. Now again, complementary colors, it can be yellow and purple. It can be orange and blue. It can be red and blue, like things like that. Opposite on the color wheel. There's some, you can make some small tweaks, but you kind of want the color to be opposite each other. If your book cover has colors that are opposite each other, it should have really high contrast. It should pop. That's what publishers usually say when it comes to pop. Now, again, if you're not a designer, just look at the designs around you. It doesn't have to be book covers. Obviously, if you have book covers at home, take a look at the book covers that you have at home. Analyze the colors. The things are all around you. Just analyze it. So spend a day or two just purely studying the color wheel and studying colors from different things around you. Whether it's packaging, whether it's the tea that you have at home, or maybe it's like the coffee mug or something. Take a look at all the design things you have around you, and you're going to be more aware of the colors. Now, again, when it comes to book cover, just like I said, there's multiple different things. So it's not just colors. You have to get all of these things right. That's why in my program I have 12 design principles. Because when you understand all 12 of them, it's very hard for you to not make an effective book cover, right? If you only know one or two, which is what most publishers know, it's very hard for you to make an effective book cover. And also, you're doing everything else everyone else is doing. So if you're doing everything else everyone else is doing at the same level that they're doing it, you're going to get the same boring results. You're average. You're going to stay average because everyone else is average. If you want to be above average and make an income above average with KDP, you need to understand knowledge that's above average, right? You're not going to do it through free YouTube videos, but I'm not here to promote any of my things. So colors. Now, again, you're going to want fonts as well. Once you start studying colors and you see you're more aware of colors and how colors work together, and that basically all the design elements that you see around you, the good ones, the effective ones, all focus on the color wheel. You start to see things. You start to put two and two together. I'm telling you, you're going to start seeing a lot more blue, red, and yellow now. You're going to start analyzing some advertisements, blue, red, and yellow, or purple and yellow, or blue and red, because they're very high contrast colors. Blue and red is everywhere. But then fonts, you want to start analyzing the fonts in the design. You want to start analyzing the hierarchy in the design. If you don't know what these are, it's okay. I'll make a separate video for book covers. But again, there's so many different things that you need to analyze. The layout of the design, layout of book covers, right? Where is everything placed? Why do they place it? Look at the bleed in the book covers. There's so many things that we can go over. The contrast, how is it contrasting? What about the textures on the design? There's so many things we can go over. But again, I can't go over it right now. So book covers is one of the most important things because that's going to determine your clicks. The higher quality your book cover, the more clicks you'll get. If you're not getting a lot of clicks for your book, even though you're targeting the correct keywords, you basically just don't have a good book cover. You're not good enough. If you design it yourself and you're not getting clicks, you're not a good enough designer. You need to learn more. If you paid someone else, you might have not hired a good enough designer. Most designers that you hire on Fiverr and all of these websites, they still don't know the 12 design principles. That's why when my students come in my program and they go over the 12 design principles, whether they do the book cover themselves or they hire someone to do it for them, they understand exactly what needs to be on the book cover in order to convert as many clicks as possible. In order for when you run ads to all of these people, at least the majority of them are actually going to click on your book. If your book cover isn't effective, then when you run ads to all these people, because it's not effective, only a very small amount of those people are going to click on your book. It's not your ads the problem, it's how effective your book cover is. And how effective your book cover is based on how effective of a designer you are, how much knowledge you have. You're the one paying the designer. The designer can have more knowledge than you, but again, if you're in the program, you'll have more knowledge than the designer themselves. You'll know exactly what to look for. You can communicate with the designer better. You can talk to them. You can have a much better product overall. So book cover is one of the main things. If you don't know anything about design, just analyze designs around you. Analyze everything. Why did they do everything? Why did they pick these colors? Why did they pick that font? Why did they make this word bigger than the other words? Study everything. Why did they put this thing here? Right? Study, you're going to see a lot of patterns, common patterns, and they're all around you. Just take a look around you. Now, this time I am going to try and show you my program. If you want to be the best possible designer you can be, if you want your books to have the highest quality book covers, go down in the description, see how you can work with me. You don't have to join, you don't have to work with me, but the least you can do is at least see what it can do for you. That's the least you can do. The least you can do is just be aware that it exists, aware that help is out there for you, right? If you're really struggling with book covers, there is help out there for you, as long as you're willing to take action. Now, book cover done. Now we're getting a bunch of clicks. Now, the second thing is we need to make sales, right? If we're not making sales, Amazon is never going to push us no matter what algorithm update is happening. Amazon is not going to push our book. Now, when it comes to conversions, there's many things that we need to look at. And again, all of these have to be correct. Now, with this one, I'm actually going to keep all the previous ones. So we have colors. I won't give you all the design principles because a lot of them are a little bit more advanced. I have to go in depth for you to understand, but it's okay. We'll say colors, hierarchy is definitely a must. The font is extremely important. Your main image, that can mess up your whole book if you pick the wrong main image. You can also show your USP. It's very effective if you show your USP on your book cover. Again, I'm not going to go super in depth, but if you want a book cover video, leave a comment down below. I'll do a book cover video. Now, for your sales, one of the most important things is copywriting. Now, when I say copywriting, I don't mean copywriting as in someone's going to steal your book and the information inside. Copywriting is different. Copywriting like that is with an R. So it's copy and then write. This is copyright. People stealing your things and you owning the copyright to your book. Copyright that I'm talking about is with a W, is writing, copywriting. That's the words that you use to sell your book. Now, the problem is with copywriting is most publishers that I talk to, and I've talked to hundreds of publishers, I literally go one-on-one. I have one-on-one sessions with publishers doing, I'm not going to say numbers, but they do very high numbers monthly, and also publishers that do very low numbers. I also work with publishers that are currently losing money and they want to scale and actually make money. So I've worked with all different types of publishers. And the most common thing is their copywriting isn't as effective because they haven't done the research beforehand. Now, copywriting is the words that you use to sell your book. Now, it doesn't matter what words you use to sell your book if you don't understand who you're selling to. So first, you need to understand your audience, right? Understand your customer. Who are you selling to? If you're selling to 30-year-old women, you're talking differently than if you're selling to 12-year-old kids, right? This goes for your description and your A+ content. You need to be effective at copywriting. You need to understand copywriting techniques. If I'm selling a lollipop to you, and then I'm saying, hey, pick from these 2 lollipops. The first lollipop, it tastes like strawberry. It tastes really good, tastes like strawberry. Now the second lollipop, if I tell you, it tastes like 1,000 strawberries bursting inside your mouth, which one of the 2 lollipops do you want to buy? Obviously the second one, because it tastes like 1,000 strawberries bursting inside your mouth. I use specific words to paint such a vivid picture. Your brain almost felt the strawberries bursting inside your mouth, right? I use copywriting. Same lollipop, right? But because I used effective copywriting, I can increase my sales. So copywriting is a very, very important skill to understand. Now, when it comes to copywriting, you can use copywriting in your description and your A+ content. Make sure you shout out what features and benefits your book has. If you have 100 recipes, don't hide it. Tell people that there's 100 recipes. Show them in your A+ content. Now also, in your A+ content, another big mistake that I see with loads of publishers is they'll have a module in the A+ content, they'll have some text, they'll have an image, but here's the thing. The text doesn't match with what the image is showing. I had a guy say, it's a journey about Egypt, and the guy's going to go to Egypt, and there's a thing in Egypt. And then the picture showed like a businessman. And I'm like, well, where is the connection? You're saying there's going to be this awesome adventure in Egypt, and you're not showing Egypt. What's the point of putting a picture if it's not going to link with the text that you put? So go inside your A+ content right now. As we're talking, pause this video, go to your A+ content, look at each one of your modules. Does whatever you say on the module, whatever text you have on the module, does it match with the photo you're showing? If it doesn't, what are you doing? Why did you put an image that doesn't link with what the text is saying, right? It doesn't make sense. These are the things that are holding you back. These small changes can be holding you back from a lot more money with KDP. But the longer you leave it like that, the longer you're missing out on sales. The longer you're delaying your success. Don't delay your success. There's very, very easy switches that you can make. Literally, I had a client, what were they selling? I can't remember what book they were selling, but they were saying something about like 100 recipes inside, 100 healthy recipes inside. And they showed a lifestyle image of an old woman holding a kid. And I'm like, what does this have to do with 100 recipes? If I'm saying 100 recipes right here, guess what I'm showing right here? I'm showing 100 recipes. Or if I'm not showing 100 recipes, I'm showing something that looks like recipes. I'm showing the interior of the book where there's like 2 recipes on a page. Or I'm showing something that has to do with the text on the module, right? Whatever text you have in the module, make sure that you study copywriting before you start writing so you know exactly what words to use, right? If I just say an adventure in Egypt, that sounds boring. But if I say an exciting adventure in Egypt that ends unexpectedly, that's much better copywriting. Not the most effective copywriting because I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I can feel the coffee wearing off as well. But I hope you get what I'm saying. And make sure your image matches with the text. So now everything is consistent. Also, side note, whatever design principles you learn for your book cover also apply to your A+ content. Same thing. Design is universal. When you see an advertisement, they're using the same design principles you should be using for your book cover, right? Same with the main image, same with the USP, same with the fonts, the hierarchy, colors, and all the other design principles that I'm not going to share in here because I'm gatekeeping some things. It's not fair for me to give you everything for free when I have students that are paying me for some serious knowledge and I'm going to give it away for free. I can't. And also, there's other deeper things I need to go into in order for someone to understand the more advanced things as well. Right? So that's why. It's not because I'm money hungry and I just want your money and I don't actually make money from KDP. I only make money from courses and YouTube. There's people that think I only make money from YouTube. I think I made like €3 this month from YouTube. And it's basically because only 2 of my videos have ads that I posted like years ago. I don't post ads on my videos. I don't make money from YouTube. If you want to work with me, I'll make money if you want to work with me. But again, you end up making more money than me when you work with me. All my students make, not all my students, because that's like very, very unreliable claims, but the students that take the knowledge and they actually apply it, they see results. And the money they give me is nothing compared to the results that they see. I'm not allowed to say the results because I don't know why people think I'm a scammer, but if you do want to see the results of people, then click on the link in the description. There's a bunch of testimonials from people that worked with me. You can see real results from them. Now, sales. As long as your copywriting is good and your A+ content is solid, very standard things. You want reviews. If you're watching this video, you know how important reviews are. I'm not going to start going over reviews because you know how important it is. If you have very low reviews, I don't even know why you bother, why you think someone's going to bother buying your book. If you have loads of reviews, you have more trust, more credibility. You can actually compete with other people with loads of reviews as well. So reviews are always going to be important. I'm not going to go over it again. Book cover is good. Your sales are good because you know copywriting and A+ content. By the way, if you're sitting here watching this video and then you don't know anything about design and you don't even know what copywriting is, great. You already found work to do. Don't skip this video, go on to another KDP video and then just not do anything. You're never going to see results that way. The only people that see results are the ones that actually implement what they learn. That's the difference between successful and unsuccessful publishers, whether you actually implement what you learn. Now, the next one, Amazon ads. This is where everyone thinks they're messing up. However, most people are wrong. Now, Amazon ads. So the main problems that you might face with Amazon ads actually is you have a high ACoS, which is, I'll tell you how to fix that. Sometimes you might have no impressions. I'll show you how to fix that as well. And then other times it's just, you might not know how to optimize correctly, right? I'll show you that as well. If you're facing any one of these problems, very high ACoS, you're not getting impressions for some of the keywords that you want to get impressions for, no matter how high you're bidding. And then you're not quite sure how to optimize your ads. So maybe you're breaking even, but you don't know how to make them profitable. I'll show you what you need to know in order to determine your problem. So one of the problems can be SEO. And when it comes to SEO, so Amazon is going to read your description and things like that to understand what your book is about. That's your SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. Amazon's going to go in, read your description. It's going to try to extract keywords that it thinks your book is associated with. So if I'm selling a dinosaur encyclopedia for kids and I have the word dinosaur encyclopedia for kids in my description, Amazon will read my description and it might read, in this dinosaur encyclopedia book for kids, you're going to learn all the different types of dinosaurs and with high quality images and nice illustrations. It will just extract that word, dinosaur encyclopedia for kids, and then it will start showing me for that word. So I can pop up in the search results. That's why it's search engine optimization. It takes out that keyword, it puts your book for that keyword when someone types it, and then Amazon's trying to see, are you getting clicks? So is your book cover resonating with that keyword? And then is it getting sales? Is your book resonating with that keyword? So are the people buying it? So when you show up for a keyword that Amazon extracted, are people clicking on it and are people buying it? If they are clicking on it and they are buying it, you're going to get pushed more and more for that keyword. If they're not clicking on it and they're not buying it, why would Amazon show your book? It should show another book that's actually going to make them money, right? That's the whole point of Amazon even existing. They want to make as much money as possible. So if your book is not making them money, you're not getting the clicks, you're not getting the sales, this is why you're not getting clicks, this is why you're not getting sales. So if you have one of these correct, doesn't matter what keywords you're targeting, you won't be making sales if you don't have these correct. So SEO, you want to put the keywords that you want to show up for, especially hyper-targeted ones. So ones that are literally exactly what your book is about. Not roughly, right? Exactly what your book is about. Put a lot of them, variations. I would recommend around 5 search terms in your description, another 5 in your A+ content SEO, right? And then you have another 7 back-end keywords. That should be good enough for Amazon to understand your book, especially if everything is 100% what your book is about. So if I'm selling a Mexican cookbook, I'm going to avoid things like easy cookbook for beginners because it can be anything. But I want to stick with Mexican cookbook for beginners, how to cook tacos, things like that. I don't know any of the Mexican foods, but I hope you get my point. So if you're not getting impressions, no matter how high you're bidding, it might mean that Amazon is not associating you with the keyword that you're trying to target. So one thing you can do is take that keyword that's not getting impressions, make sure you have it in your SEO, leave it for a couple of days so Amazon picks up that keyword, and then if your bid is high enough, you should start getting impressions. Now, high ACoS. The only reason you have a high ACoS, well, there's 2 reasons. The first reason you have a high ACoS is because of your the keyword relevance, right? So if the keyword is not relevant, obviously you're going to have a high ACoS because you're spending on a keyword that's not very likely to bring you a sale. So if it's not very likely to bring you a sale, it's bringing people, but very few of them are buying. So I'm selling a Mexican cookbook for beginners, and then I'm targeting the word easy cookbook for beginners. Then a lot of people that are searching easy cookbook for beginners, they might not be looking for a Mexican book. They might be looking just for like an American one, right? Or like a Mediterranean diet, or an air fryer cookbook, an easy air fryer cookbook. They just haven't typed in air fryer, but they're looking for an air fryer one. right? So there's other combinations that they might be looking for. So keyword relevancy is very, very important. So someone searching for easy cookbook for beginners, for every 10 people that click on your book, maybe one of them buys because it's not very relevant. If only one of them buys and you pay for 10 clicks, then your ACOS is going to be high because you might be spending $1 per click, which is $10, and you might be making back $5 in profit. So you're spending double what you're making back, which is why your ACOS is probably going to be like 100 or 200%. Now, if your keyword is very relevant, so let's say I'm selling a Mexican cookbook for beginners, and my keyword is Mexican cookbook for beginners, then because it's more relevant, for every 10 people that click, now 3 people might buy because it's more relevant, it's more accurate. So the ACOS is going to be lower because the conversion rate is higher, especially if we have these things here, right? And if the conversion rate is high, and then the click-through rate is also high, then great, you're getting as many clicks as possible and as many sales as possible for a relevant keyword. So your ACOS is going to be low regardless, right? Usually the problem with your ACOS is usually these two things right here, which is why I'm saying it's super, super important. Now, if your keyword is relevant and you're still getting a very high ACOS, it might just be that specific keyword might not be working for your book, or it might just be that your book cover's not as good as you think it is, and then your Amazon listing page, again, is not as good as you think it is. Now, apart from that, when it comes to Amazon ads, there's so many things that you can get wrong. Campaign structure. A lot of people get the campaign structure wrong. Also, bidding strategies. Are you using up and down, down only, fixed bids? Again, there's different times where you use different bidding strategies. You don't use up and down for campaigns that are not meant to bring you high conversions, right? I'm getting too advanced, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But there's times where you use bidding strategies in the correct time frame. So when you just launch your book, you're using a different bidding strategy than when your book has already gathered 500 sales. For example, I start all of my ones with fixed bids. I don't publish a new book with down only, even though everyone recommends it.
But Barry, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, great. I tested it. And when it comes to down only needs previous sales data to push your book. That's why it's down only. It can predict your conversion rate. It has previous sales data on your conversion rate. And then it knows, hey, this guy got a 7% conversion rate for Dinosaur Encyclopedia book for kids, but everyone else has a 10% conversion rate. 10% is the average. If I have a 7% conversion rate, then Amazon knows, hey, I should lower the bid because Barry is less likely to convert. That's down only. Well, if you publish a brand new book and you put down only, Amazon has no sales data to know if it should lower your bid or not. Right? That's why I start with fixed bids. Your bids might be incorrect. There's so many different things that might be incorrect with your Amazon ads. Your optimizations also might be completely wrong. You might be optimizing completely wrong. I have clients that are getting rid of keywords that are bringing in profitable sales, right? Because they're not quite sure how to optimize. Now, I'm going to show you the solution to Amazon ads, the easiest way that you'll know that you're doing these things correct. Now, Amazon ads. This is the easiest way to run Amazon ads, right? Everyone has their own strategy. I'm sure all these big gurus have their own strategies. Now, the first thing is, one of the biggest mistakes I see is over 100 keywords or targets. I'm going to call them targets in case you're running product campaigns as well. If you have hundreds of targets in a campaign, you're missing out. It's not as effective as it possibly could be. It's kind of like you have a waiter and then you're saying, hey, waiter, go and do 100 tables. We have 100 tables right here. Go and get orders and bring them the food and everything for 100 tables. That's a little bit complicated. Now, if you do have 100 keywords in a campaign right now, pause the video right now as we're talking. If you have 100 keywords in a campaign, pause the video, open up your Amazon ads and check it out. I guarantee you maybe 20% of the keywords actually have traction. They're actually getting impressions. They're actually getting clicks. Sometimes it might be 30%. But I guarantee you that not all the keywords are getting the traction. I guarantee you have so many keywords that are not even getting impressions. Why? It's not because your SEO is wrong or anything else is wrong. It's just you're giving Amazon too much. So what I like to do is I have a maximum of 20 targets per campaign. Why? Because if you're a waiter, it's much easier to manage 20 tables rather than 100. Even though 20 is very, very hard. When I was a waiter, we were like waiting like 4, 5 tables. And I still wasn't able to do it. I wasn't a very good waiter. That's why I went into KDP. But 20 targets max. What's this going to do? This is going to make sure that if you have 100 keywords and you separate it into 20 keywords per campaign, that's what I will do, 20 keywords per campaign. Now we have 5 campaigns with 20 keywords. And then if we have $100 to spend, we're spending it effectively. We're maximizing the $100. If we put them all in one campaign, We're given $100, and that $100 is being spent on only 20% of the keywords. Doesn't make any sense. I want to test out all the keywords, because what if 20 keywords out of the 100 are working really well, and then also these 40 keywords could also work really well, but the spend is only going to these keywords all the time, right? These are never going to get the amount of spend that they deserve. You're basically missing out on potential sales. And also the sales that you get from PPC, it helps with organic. So you're missing out on organic sales as well if you're not getting sales for the keywords that could be working. You're missing out on all of this. You're not running ads effectively. Now, also, I always separate my campaigns as much as possible. So if I have 100 keywords, I'm separating it into 5 different campaigns. And I know what you're thinking.
But Barry, isn't it overwhelming having that many campaigns? But am I not going to spend loads if I have that many campaigns?
No and no. It's way less overwhelming having 5 campaigns separated. Why? Because I guarantee if you have 100 keywords or 100 products or whatever you're doing, there's 100 targets inside an ad group, inside a campaign. If you have 100 of them, not only are most of them not working, but it's very, very hard for you to see what's working and what's not. So what do I mean by this? Okay, let's say we have a business book. We're teaching people how to start an online business. Okay, so there's multiple different ways that we could search for books for online business. We could search things like how to start an online business book, running an online business book online, right? All the online business versions of that keyword. There's so many different ways. All of the keywords that have the word online business inside, I would put them in this campaign. I don't think there's going to be more than 20. If there is, it might be 22, 24. That's still okay. You could put them in here, as long as they're not 100. Now, that's not the only way that we're searching for that book. Other people might search digital business, right? Digital business book. Now, if I have another 12 keywords where you have digital business instead of online business, great. I want to separate this. Why? Because now it's way easier. I have 20 keywords in here that say online business book, blah, blah, blah. And then I have in here 20 keywords, which is digital business. Now, if I separate them, and there's probably other variations as well, that's why we do different campaigns, then if this campaign, which has online business, has 100 orders at 50% ACOS, and then this one here, digital business, has 20 orders at 120% ACOS, which keyword is working better? This one, right? Instantly. And we know instantly just bring it from looking at the campaign view. We don't even have to go inside. Obviously, we should go inside so you can analyze exactly what's working, where your sales are coming from, specifically what keywords are bringing in the sales. But again, if you separate everything, it's so much easier for you to optimize, and it's so much easier for you to spend effectively. And guess what? If this is not working, you can just turn this off, right? You don't have to go inside this campaign and manually turn off the ones that aren't working and things like that. You know for a fact, hey, digital business doesn't work as good for my book. And you can make optimizations, much, much easier to make optimizations when everything is separated and everything is crystal clear. It's kind of like you're trying to gamble. If you're playing roulette, if you never played roulette, you basically have a table, there's a bunch of numbers, you pick the number, and if the number hits, you get money. Now, if you were to gamble on a roulette table, where do you have a higher chance of winning? If you select one number and you put $100 on one number, or if you get $20 and you put $20 on 5 different numbers. Or if you pick 5 different numbers, you have a higher chance. You have 5 times higher chances of winning. So instead of selecting one number, select 5 numbers. Same thing here. Instead of doing one campaign with 100 keywords and then just continue optimizing that same campaign again and again until it eventually reaches a break-even ACOS, separate these, you're going to spend a lot more effectively, and now you're gambling on 5 different numbers. One of these numbers is going to hit. You don't know which one is going to be. Right here, it's all just complicated and messed up. Right here, if this works really well and these perform absolutely terrible, great. Turn these off and now you have a campaign that's working really, really well and you have a profitable business, right? I hope all of this is making sense. Now, I know I didn't go super, super in depth. However, whatever subject that we talked about in here, you want me to go more in depth, leave a comment down below. I want to make videos that you need. I want to help you as much as possible. So if you want me to go more in depth on book covers, let me know. I'll go more in depth on book covers. If you want me to go more in depth on Amazon ads, let me know. If you want Amazon listing, let me know. I'm here to help you out. But anyway, go out there and make a bunch of money with KDP.